Hello, and thank you. Thank you for joining us for the BPM Change Management PRR Review Monthly Meeting. My name is Ryan Ayer, representing the Customer Readiness team here at the ISO, and I will be facilitating today's web conference. Today's call is being recorded. These recordings are for informational and convenience purposes only. Any related transcriptions should not be reprinted without the ISO's permission. As a reminder, these monthly calls are structured to stimulate an honest dialogue and engage different perspectives. While we welcome comments and questions, please remember to keep the comments professional and respectful. We will be taking questions throughout the call today. If you are dialed in by phone only and not on the WebEx, you can enter the question queue at any time by pressing #2 on your telephone keypad. If you are connected audio through the WebEx platform, please use the raise hand feature located above the chat box on the lower right-hand side of your screen. We ask that you introduce yourself before asking your question. And if you need technical assistance during the call today, please send a chat message to the event producer. The purpose of today's meeting is to discuss the proposed revision requests that are in the initial or recommendation stage of the process, and today we'll be discussing 15 PRRs. 4 are in the initial stage, 11 are in the recommendation stage. All PRRs were submitted by the ISO. The purpose of BPMs is to set forth business practices that implement the ISO tariff. The ISO conducts a yearly policy initiative roadmap process to consider and rank initiatives. Policy changes submitted through the PRR process will be referred to the policy initiative roadmap process. And each area in a BPM is based on enabling language in the ISO tariff. The PRR process cannot be used to introduce changes that are not supported by the existing tariff authority. The first BPM we are covering is for market instruments, PRR number 1558, which is in the recommendation stage. Nicole Hines will be covering this slide, so I'll go ahead and turn it over to you, Nicole.
Thanks, Ryan. I am covering for Michael Martin today, so if you have any questions on these next few slides, please let me know and we will get those answers to you. So PRR 1558 is for the new OASIS report labeled ATC for past wheel-through requests. This describes the new OASIS report label for these requests, which displays the available transfer capacity for priority wheel-through requests as part of the TSMSP project. We did not receive any recommendation comments. The comment period closed on May 14th, and the next step is to post the final decision. Are there any questions on this PRR? All right, I don't see any questions. You can go to the next slide, please. Market operations will be the next BPM we discussed. So PRR 1570, it details on new processes to establish wheeling through priority as part of the TSMSP project. Kind of like the previous PRR just discussed, this details a new process to establish wheeling through priority where a scheduling coordinator must reserve ATC on the ISO interties in advance in monthly or daily increments. This was effective on April 19th, 2024. There were no initial comments received. The initial comment period closed on May 14th, and the next step is to post a recommendation. PRR 1567 updates to constraints related to the impact of ancillary service awards on the state of charge on storage resources. The reason for this revision is to better capture the potential impact of ancillary service awards on the state of charge within the market dispatch, as well as to increase the feasibility of ancillary service market awards. This also corrects a BPM posting error in section 4.2.9. We did not receive any recommendation comments, and the recommendation period also closed on May 14th. And the next step is to post the final decision. And PRR 1568 is clarifying tagging requirements in support of Resource Efficiency Evaluation Phase 2 project. The reason for this revision is to clarify updates to the tagging requirements for GFP tags and requirement to add the market priority type. This also adjusts the timing of the RUC auto adjustment recommendation comments we did have a comment from BPA, and there was a response that the ISO posted on this comment. It is posted to the PRR website. The comment period closed on May 14th, and the next step is to post the final decision. Are there any questions on any of these PRRs?
All right, great. Thank you, Nicole. All right, perfect. Thank you. The next BPM we are covering for is metering, PRR number 1569, which is in the initial stage, and Priyanka will be speaking to this. I'll go ahead and turn it over to you, Priyanka.
Ryan, PRR 1569 is submitted for the meter data submission requirement. It's a clarification. The reason for this revision is to clarify the meter data submission for the actual and estimated settlement quality meter data. The scheduling coordinators are required to submit the meter data for an operating day only if the total expected energy is non-zero. And the timelines for the submissions have not changed. They are still the same for the estimated meter data and the actual meter data. We have not received any initial comments. The initial comment period has expired on May 14th, 2024, and the next step is to post the recommendation.
All right, thank you, Priyanka.
Are there any questions on this PRR?
I don't see any questions for the moment, so I think we're good there. Thank you, Priyanka. The next BPMs we are covering are for settlements and billing, PRRs number 1559 through 1566, which are in the recommendation stage, and PRR 1571 and 1572, which are both in the initial stage. Massey will be covering these BPMs, and I'll go ahead and turn it over to you, Massey.
Thank you, Ryan. So let's start with the T project. The T project is one of the two projects that was in part of our summer release. T stands for Transmission Exchange Agreement. This agreement is between WAPA and CAISO. Now, as of a week ago, we've decided to move this project out of summer release and place it in our independent release. This is a project that is moving away from the summer release, and we'll have it in independent release to be deployed sometime in August. The comment period, the recognition comment period expired May 14th. The next step is post-final decisions. Any questions on 1559? Okay, next is the TSMSP2. This is another project in the summer release. It stands for Transmission Service Agreement and Market Scheduling Priorities Phase 2. This has the effective date of 6/1 of 2024. Recommendation comment period expired May 14, 2024. Next step is post-final decision. 1561, this is associated to ASSOC, Ancillary Service State of Charge Constraint. This was identified by upstream system making enhancements to the data. And this is a retroactive, will begin in, once we deploy this in prod as part of summer release, it will have an effective date of July 1st, 2023. Recommendation comment period expired May 14. Next step is post-final decision. This issue was brought up via defect. This has to do with WAF pump storage. Interverse resources for scheduled variables as an input into settlement intervals resource-based schedule. This is also like ASSOC. This is a retrofix that goes back to March 1st of 2023. Recognition comment period expired May 14th. Next step is post-final decision. PR 1563. This is associated to the energy transfer system resources being excluded from AET. AET is energy transfer calculation. And so this has the effective date of July 1st, 2023. So this is also retroactive. Recommendation comment period expired May 14th. Next step is post final decision. Next PR 1564. This is associated with the pre-calculation congestion, where we're changing this into nodal before we modify it to BAA level. And the effective date is with the summary release of 6/1/2024. Recommendation comment period expired May 14th. Next step is post final decision. PR 1565. This has to do with RAIN calculation. RAIN stands for Resource Adequacy, Availability, Incentive Mechanism. We had some overlapping data that had to be fixed, and the effective start date for this is with summary release of 6/1/2024. Recommendation comment period expired May 14th. Next step is post final decision. This issue was also a defect that was identified via dispute. It has to do with the Taijin resources. And this is a retro, goes back to July 1st of 2023. Recommendation comment period expired May 14th. Next step is post final decision. This is a advisory shutdown. We identified that it was a missing advisory shutdown flag data in our calculation, so we are making this correction. This is a defect, which was part of a summer release, but now this one has also been moved into independent release. Initial comment period expired May 14th. Next step is post recommendation. This is associated with the correction of the GMC charge code 4575, which we identified that the charge code 8835 for RAIN neutrality and charge code 6479 for AET, SSN Energy, was not triggering GMC charge code, so we made that correction. This is only a document correction. There's no configuration change here. This is a retroactive, goes back to January 1st of 2022. Initial comment period expired May 14th. Next step is post recommendation. Any questions regarding any of the settlements PRRs?
There are no questions at this time.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, Matthew. All right, the next BPM monthly meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, June 25th at 11 a.m. Pacific time. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please email us at bpm_cm@kaiso.com. And that concludes our meeting for today. Thank you.
Thank you for using Event Services. You may now disconnect.